The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news from West Haven, where a fire investigation is happening right now. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Hartman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi just arrived on scene. So, Valerie, what can you tell us so far?
Yeah, well, the scene is quiet now, but we can still see the damage left by the fire here on Daniel Street. And as you can see right behind me, the garage is the area with the most visible damage. And West Haven fire crews reported to the fire just after 7 this Tuesday evening. I spoke to one of the fire crews on the scene, and they told me this is not a deadly fire. I also spoke to one of the family members, and they're still in disbelief about what just happened. They told me their cat is still missing. Of course, this is all the details that we have at this moment, but we're working to gather more and bring it to you. For now, live in West Haven, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Valerie, thank you. We're also following breaking news out of Hartford tonight, where a man is in critical condition after being shot. Police say the victim is a man in his 40s. They say he was shot multiple times around 4 this afternoon on Albany Avenue. Neighbors who spoke with Fox 61 off camera described the shooting as disturbing. At this time, police have not released a motive. Fox 61 crews on the scene saw officers questioning one person and going door to door collecting evidence. No suspects are in custody at this time. And as both of these breaking stories develop, stay with us on air, fox61.com and the free Fox 61 News app. Just scan the QR code on your screen now to download.
After a couple of quiet days in the weather department, looks like things are changing right now.
Yeah, winter is going to come back somewhere along the line. Had to happen. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here now with the first check of the forecast. Rach?
Yeah, we still have one more day with temperatures in the 40s, but then January reality will come crashing back in again. It looks like there's a lot of rain falling in western Connecticut, but a lot of this is evaporating before it reaches the ground. Still, a couple of light showers are possible over the next few hours or so, and that's the case for Wednesday too. Not a washout, still mild, but we will see a few occasional showers. So you might need to reach for the umbrella occasionally, especially in western and northwestern Connecticut, but you'll still be able to spend some time outside. And then winter's back, especially by the end of the week on Friday. Highs will only be in the 20s to near 30 degrees. So bye-bye winter warmth and hello winter. Temperatures right now are quite mild. We're close to 40 degrees. And as we head through the next several hours, again, notice we have the chance for some showers, but that shower chance will diminish a bit as we head towards daybreak. Low temperatures tonight will stay above the average high temperature for this time of year. So that's how mild it will be, upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. Again, a lot of clouds, high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Some towns could approach 50 degrees as we head through the afternoon. But again, this is the grand finale before the chill settles back in. Your full forecast is coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. We are following breaking news here at 10:03. The U.S. State Department says multiple Americans detained in Venezuela have been released. It's a move the Trump administration is calling a positive step following the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces nearly 2 weeks ago. Venezuelan officials say hundreds of prisoners were freed as a gesture to seek peace, but human rights groups dispute the numbers and say transparency is lacking.
And developing tonight, President Donald Trump says he's taking new steps to crack down on sanctuary cities. The president announced today the federal government will stop funding sanctuary cities and states that host them starting February 1st. The cities in Connecticut include Hartford, New London, New Haven, and Windham. Trump made the remarks at the Detroit Economic Club in Michigan and said the move is needed because, in his words, sanctuary cities protect criminals at the expense of American citizens. Last year, a judge blocked the administration from withholding federal funds for more than 30 cities, with policies limiting cooperation with immigration authorities.
The Justice Department says it will not open a criminal civil rights investigation into the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good by an ICE officer in Minneapolis, even as an FBI probe continues. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche made the announcement, which marks a sharp break from the past practice where shootings by law enforcement were quickly reviewed for civil rights violations. Minnesota officials have raised alarms after being blocked from accessing evidence and told they have no jurisdiction in the case. Multiple federal federal prosecutors in Minnesota and senior civil rights attorneys in Washington have resigned amid turmoil over the department's handling of the investigation. Critics warn the decision could undermine public trust and leave key questions about the shooting unanswered.
Another protest took place this afternoon here in Connecticut. About 100 people gathered in front of the state capitol in response to the deadly shooting. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot spoke to people there, and she has more for us.
People at Tuesday's protest tell me they want to make it very clear that they are not in support of Trump's administration when it comes to ICE.
The message of either you obey or you die is the wrong message in America.
People from across our state joined together in Hartford after the deadly shooting involving an ICE agent in Minneapolis.
I've been out here since January when Trump got elected a year ago, and it's only gotten worse. And people need to come out, and we need to stop him, and we need Congress to do something.
Tracy Gale and many others lined the sidewalk in front of the state capitol. Gale says what's going on is familiar from things in the past.
We've seen it before. We saw young people get shot at Kent State, and here we are again, young people getting shot by our government. It's not right. We need to stop it.
The Trump administration says the shooting last Tuesday was out of self-defense.
You have a woman who was trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. Nobody debates that. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and pressed on the accelerator. Nobody debates that.
There are about 100 people outside of the Capitol Tuesday afternoon, and the message is very clear. They don't agree with what ICE is doing in communities, and they say ICE should really be out of the communities as a whole.
This is the second protest in Hartford since the deadly shooting, but a handful of protests have been happening across the state.
I've been at other rallies. I think, it's just the whole picture of the cruelty and the lawlessness of this administration. I think people need to speak up about it, and that's why I'm here.
Everything about this is wrong. I mean, we all know there's an immigration problem. It has been for a long time. But the way that this is going about it is wrong.
Some say they are speaking up because they don't like the direction the country is heading in.
I think that democracy is the most important thing to fight for and stand up for, and unfortunately, we're headed towards authoritarianism and a destruction of democracy.
I remember a time where my mother couldn't have a bank account. I remember Vietnam in the neighborhood as a little kid. I remember quite a bit. Never mind, 9/11 changed the world. But we're looking for leadership, not a dictator.
Some Republican leaders have criticized the protest. They say it's only worsening tensions. In Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Well, Quinnipiac University conducted a national poll on how voters feel about the Minneapolis deadly ICE shooting. The results show a majority of voters, 53%, believe the shooting was not justified, 35% think it was justified, and the other 12% didn't offer an opinion. The university says there were differences based on political party and gender. And when voters were asked about the way ICE is enforcing immigration law, the survey shows 57% of them do not agree with it. Now, that number is nearly identical to Quinnipiac's July poll. We have continuing coverage of this deadly shooting in Minneapolis and reaction here at home on our free streaming app, Fox 61 Plus. You can stream now and 24/7.
Day 3 of Michelle Troconis's habeas corpus trial continued in Vernon today. She's seeking a new trial in connection with the 2019 death of Jennifer Farber-Dulos. Troconis was convicted of helping her estranged boyfriend, Fotis Dulos, dispose of her body and is sentenced to 14.5 years. This was in 2024. Legal expert Michael Fitzpatrick returned to the stand for cross-examination today. The prosecution challenged his credibility and questioned inconsistencies in how many cases he's tried and whether he reviewed notes from Troconis' former attorney. Fitzpatrick defended his record and said reviewing attorney notes was outside his role, and his statements about prior cases are accurate. He maintained that Troconis' former attorney provided inefficient representation. More testimony is expected this week.
Clarence Cross, the man responsible for the crash that killed Tonique Davis, was sentenced today. He'll serve 3.5 years in prison, followed by 5 years of probation. In court, Davis's mother, sister, and best friend shared emotional stories, remembering her as a strong daughter and fearless friend. Cross mostly kept his head down, showing remorse as the judge delivered the sentence. He's also required to complete 30 hours of community service during the first 2 years of his probation.
A new report calls the deaths of 2 Garner correctional inmates tragic but not criminal. 31-year-old Ronald Johnson died July 19th, and 32-year-old Tyler Cole died 2 days later. Both were in the prison's methadone program, and the Inspector General found signs of overdose, including high initial doses and rapid increases. Johnson had reportedly complained of negative reactions before his death. Since then, the Department of Corrections has reviewed all methadone programs and added more staff specializing in addiction treatment.
A New Haven math teacher has been arrested for allegedly exchanging inappropriate text messages with a 13-year-old former student. Police say 40-year-old Thomas Fargeorge sent the messages over several months, often late at night, though they were not explicitly sexual. Fargeorge was placed on administrative leave back in October and is now charged with 1 count of harmful communication with a minor, a misdemeanor offense. He has been released on a $25,000 bond and is scheduled to appear in court February 17th. Officials are asking anyone with more information about this case to come forward.
President Trump's weighing his next steps on Iran while unrest continues there. He called the killings of protesters significant and said the Iranian government is badly misbehaving. The president has yet to confirm the exact death toll, but activists have reported more than 2,500 people have been killed and more than 16,000 have been arrested. Speaking from Michigan, he urged Iranian citizens to keep protesting and said U.S. help is on the way, while also warning Tehran to show humanity and avoid further violence.